Action, please.
Welcome to Producer's Kitchen. My name is David Stanford. Alex Wen is behind the camera. KCW Studios is sponsoring this interview with Corey Gibson. Welcome, Corey. Thank you for being here.
An honor.
An honor, thank you.
An honor and privilege.
So,
More wine.
what did you come to Los Angeles to do?
I came to Los Angeles to,
And you came from, just real quick, you did move here.
little background.
Little background.
Little background, started in a very little town in central Washington. I grew up in like the farm country, orchards, and love Washington. Never really wanted to leave, but at the end of the day, after a little time in college, I was like, God, I need to make things happen. I just need to do things. And I always had this vision for myself that was going to be very much kind of like, I'm going to become a rich and famous actor.
Sure.
And then probably work my way up into like something in politics, because it's just always been interest to me. So I moved down to Los Angeles specifically to become a rich and famous actor.
Rich and famous actor.
Yeah, look at me now.
So how much did you make as an actor coming to Los Angeles? What would you say?
$1,217 around there probably.
A week?
Okay, my acting story is, here's the interesting thing. So people wanting to get in the industry, or people that are in it are gonna like watch these different things and probably pick up different experiences. And this one might be really kind of, I think, maybe unique in that I moved down here and just jumped into it, didn't know anything. At that time, it was like digital cameras weren't a thing yet. And that doesn't make me old, things have just moved really fast. And so I moved down here and I got a manager. She was, oh my gosh, she was so mean to me. She was so mean, she was like abusive. And so that was fun. And then I got an agent, and those things actually came really fairly easily.
Okay.
And then I started working on getting jobs.
Getting jobs as an actor. Now, what did you do? You can't live on $1,217.
That's true.
So what did you do to subsidize?
I had a serving job at Disneyland. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I mean,
You're working for Disney. You're in the hive.
This is how it happens. So I'm at Disney, and I'm working there, and I managed to find a way to weasel myself into a role that didn't exist. And so within the Disneyland Resort, I became sort of like the on-camera and live stage like host for all the big events.
Ah.
So I was like, this is Corey at like Tower of Terror. So it was, but it was so much fun. It was like the best way to make like a living, like working for Disney. But in the meantime, I was also going out auditioning and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And the thing that happened, that I think what I mentioned earlier that's unique maybe, is that I hated the process. Okay? So acting or anything to do with this business, it's about, sure, you've got to be creative and you have to be talented in whatever division you want to go into.
Sure.
Forget my dog. He insisted on being here. But at the same time, it's like you also it's all business. It's all like the business.
Well, how do you make a living? I mean,
So what you have to do is you have to find a job that allows you to like be a server, so that you can potentially work like 4 hours a day and make auditions. But my story is I started making auditions and I was doing well in terms of just starting out. Like I was producers for Young and the Restless,
Nice.
It's when you're first moving down from like Seattle, Washington.
yes.
It's a big deal. So, but I was hating the process, and then I would book stuff, and I would hate that too. I'd be like, this is so boring. Like, you know what I mean? And so I literally decided to quit acting while I was filming a national commercial. And the thing is, I was sucked back into the entertainment world, but to survive, I was just working basically as a server. And there was always a battle, which I think happens with a lot of actors. There's always a battle, and that battle internally is, I'm passionate about this, I have a dream, do I want to make that happen and see it through, running the risk of always struggling as a server, or
Sure.
Or do I want to abandon that and maybe risk not being happy but being financially stable? I got lucky because I realized that I hated the process of being an actor.
Got it, and wanted a business life of some sort, of monetary.
I still had grand visions for myself, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to find another career path. But the weird thing is, and maybe it's just because I live here in Southern California, Los Angeles, I still ended up back in freaking entertainment.
Doing what?
Okay, well, we'll skip ahead a little bit, but I ended up finding myself, I worked, well,
Well, you're quitting the thing you came out here to do,
yes,
making probably the most money you had made doing it
yes.
for a national commercial. Even though, so it's, yeah, it's about the business, but you came back to it, you said.
Mhm. In a unique, interesting way, which I think happens a lot in this town.
Yes.
I think you start out sometimes thinking you know what you want to do, you get exposed to things and find out that you're successful in sort of other ways.
Mm.
Now, the
Okay.
one thing I can tell you that I've learned about myself is I learned that maybe I'm not the best actor. Maybe, who knows, maybe I would be better now, I don't know. I can admit that. But I was really good at hosting stuff. So I was good at interacting with the camera, I was good at interacting with people around me, I was really good at that. And so I did want to pursue that for a while, you know.
Okay.
And it never really went anywhere necessarily. But it's interesting how that time, those experiences end up finding their way into a completely different role that I'm working in now. That is again tied into the entertainment industry, but it's using those skills and those things that I learned that I enjoy and that I'm
Cool.
decent at.
And what is that now?
Well, now, well, this is like the end of everything that's kind of, this is, I basically reached a point where
Right now, you've reached a point, let's say.
I've reached a point right now where after a long period of time where I was working in something I was very honored and excited to do, there's a thing in this world called cause marketing. And
Okay.
people ask what cause marketing, they think it's like cosmetics or something, but it's marketing that has a pro-social impact, right?
Okay.
So it's something that does something positive with marketing.
Got it.
And so I got really lucky because I had a really, I had an idea that I thought was great while I was working at an agency. How I got to the agency is a whole other story, but anyway, I was working in an entertainment agency. They asked me to come in to do cause marketing because they wanted to diversify the type of things they were offering to networks and studios.
Okay.
And they were like, no one's doing cause marketing. This is interesting. Maybe we should try it.
Okay.
So I got to step in and play that role. And it was incredibly exciting. And I developed an idea. I was literally writing down on a notepad, just writing down ideas. And Glee was really big at the time. And I wrote this idea down called Glee Give a Note. And the idea was like, give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
music education is failing. Like,
Yeah.
come on. And, you know, another long story, but it took 2 years, but eventually Fox picked it up and it became this massive campaign for 20th Century Fox that I was able to manage and run, you know, so it was it put me into this interesting world where I was working with entertainment in a way I never ever thought I would.
Sure.
And so,
As you're drawing a paycheck doing it.
yes.
I mean, you're on salary at this point.
Yeah, so I'm doing really well. Like I've done great, you know what I mean? Because I'm a director of marketing for an entertainment agency, like one of the top agencies at the time that was
Wow.
down here.
Okay.
And but you know what? When you're creative, you're always driven to want to do your own thing. You're always wanting to be creative, and so under the umbrella of someone else is always hard. So I left that to start my own thing again,
Okay.
and was able to continue to do that same sort of work. But what led me to where I'm at now, to where I'm still using all that crap I was found I was interested in the past, was I found that I was excited to be working in entertainment again. I was
Okay. excited
excited to be making money and all that stuff. But I was not able to necessarily do the things I wanted to, because every project that I pitched, and what got, like Shrek, Empire, Glee, all those things were cool, but they're all music education. My passion in terms of like the pro-social thing
Mm-hmm.
has always been the environment and wildlife conservation and things like that. So I got pretty burnt out,
Okay.
and I decided I wanted to focus again, one more time, focus on the shit I think is important to me, right? So I abandoned that. So it's been rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor.
Third reset, second
poor.
reset, third reset, okay.
But the thing is, I'm still going to the same place. You know, I know where I want to go, but so now anyway, I find myself working on trying to develop some very specific sort of shows that are focused on all my experience and stuff. The one thing I didn't mention is that I've done a lot of work internationally developing conservation campaigns, like for mountain gorillas in Uganda.
Oh, cool.
Got to film some stuff down there with the Galapagos Islands, did some stuff with World Wildlife Fund Latin America. So those things were all pieces that kind of turned me into somebody that like knew a lot about this and understood it. And then I started my own nonprofit focused on supporting that stuff. But the hard part then is, once again, I find myself in a place where I'm like, well, I'm focusing on what I'm passionate about. It's not financial or by any means right now, but there's obviously a potential upside. So I've developed this show that's focused on engaging kids in a really creative, fun way, using all of my insanely talented friends to create it.
Pulling favors that relationships you've made over this journey to get to finally where you think the track you're on.
Yeah. And now I'm sort of a host again.
Sort of a host.
Yeah.
Circled back. Tell us about
this show.
Yeah, this is Pitch Your Thing time.
Yeah. Pitch my thing time.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
No.
It's just cute and it's fun to talk about. But really, the whole goal is to find a way to engage kids in a super fun, creative, entertaining way. Is also for parents too. But then also, it's really all about learning about wildlife and learning about conservation.
Gotcha.
And so this is a show that's focused on, it's called Darwin Ranger and Darwin Rangers. And the whole point of it is there's this magic book that was created by this dude that was like this epic explorer.
Okay.
And he creates this magic book and he basically hides the book. The book is so cool and so magic that it selects the person that gets to find the book, because when you open it, it opens you up into this amazing, creative, magical world.
And you're pitching this show, I'm going to produce this show?
I've created it, and I've been...
Because we talk about here monetizing, right? Like nuts and bolts of, okay, so this is a great idea. I've looked at this book, it's amazing. It really is. I definitely could see this show on television, but how do you...
I'm sure you will.
We will. But how what's
okay,
that?
How do you survive? How do you make something like this
How do
and
you
like
make
pay the
something like
bills?
that and pay the bills?
Well, I think the first thing is to not get yourself so over your head to where you're forced to have a high-paying job, right?
Right.
Because that's a trap a lot of people get into. They
Yeah.
find themselves in a place where they're like, well, there's things I want to do, but fuck, I have like, I don't know, it's Los Angeles, so I'll just say $10,000 a month
Sure,
mortgage
something-
or whatever.
Living beyond your means.
And so that's the first thing. So the first thing I think is that's helped me with being able to do this process is to just kind of remain consistently modest about stuff. Not when I had tons of money, not getting myself into a place to where I had a lot of expensive things I had to pay for. So I think that's one important piece of it. The other is, well, I've been very fortunate. The partner that I partnered with on this, for this particular project for the nonprofit, who I'm also working on this with, he had funds that he wanted to invest in creating sort of like a nonprofit, and we've been working together.
Okay.
And so, at this point with savings, which is another important thing, especially if you want to work on creating your own stuff, like save the money while you have it. Don't get in over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself the flexibility to do the things that you love,
Got it.
It's never going to be worth it. Ever is it going to be worth it to just make money if you know that you're passionate about other things. Like, it just simply isn't going to be worth it. And it's like planning, instead of planning on how to do things so that you can be rich, it's like planning how to be poor so that you can be happy. All right, cut that. That's a book I want to write.
On that real quick, we're going to take a crafty break.
Craft service?
Craft service break, brought to you by San Pellegrino. Crafty break back. So, what's with that? Do you have a favorite website?
Like a porn site?
It can be a website, and that can be very telling. But do you have a website outside of Facebook that you go to that you're in marketing? You're savvy?
Are we still in a crap break?
No, we're back.
Oh, okay. Well, I was joking about the porn thing.
Take that.
A favorite website? Well, I mean, yeah, YouTube.
YouTube.
I figured it out.
YouTube hole. You didn't get lost in the YouTube hole.
No, that's where I figured out how to get lost in it. Because for so long it was just a bunch of shit, and I was just like, "What? How is this a thing?" You know what I mean? You had to search so hard and stuff, and now they've got it to where it's where I get all my news, half of my entertainment, like, it's why I don't sleep much.
They're going after real TV dollars.
They are.
Advertising dollars.
I know. I got YouTube Red.
You did. You got it.
So
you've got YouTube Red. You have cable.
$10 a month. Live with convenience.
Truly. Do you have cable though?
No.
Do you get Hulu?
Nope.
Netflix?
Yep.
Amazon?
Yep.
Is that really telling?
Oh,
I mean, as a
it's
trend.
insanely telling. Everything's changed. Everything's changing.
How do you see it changing? What's next?
Well, God.
It's streaming. What's the last movie you saw? It went out to the theater.
Oh, last movie I went out to the theater and saw?
Yeah. Telling. Really freaking telling. Isn't it?
Shouldn't be. Oh,
No, it shouldn't be. Wonder Woman. Okay.
Yeah. No, it is telling. I mean, look, if the conversation about what's happening to media is such a fascinating thing to discuss. And it's really interesting too, because we are and we're not very old, we are of an age to where we saw things transition from before we even had smartphones, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We saw that because it happens so fast.
Yes.
And now media in entertainment is changing so incredibly fast that it's just like, oh, it's fascinating. So if you ask me where I think it's going,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's obviously, it's all going, I think networks are going to be challenged soon.
That's very kind of you. That's very kind
I
of
mean,
you.
our show is still do great on the network.
Yes, it would do great on Disney.
No,
Will always have it.
But I think that the struggle is very real. I think that everybody is eventually going to be transitioning into a completely new sort of a platform. It's all going to be a streaming environment of some sort. Because I actually think that right now that and I'm sure there's studies being done about all this. They have the numbers more than you and I, but I think there's a generation out there that doesn't want to figure out how to use, like, what is this contraption generation?
Mm-hmm.
That is still tuned in to like watching their programs, that's still doing that sort of a route.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that every single kid alive today, like every single person under the age of 25 is like cable. Like, yeah, my mom has cable, so I got cable.
Grandparents have cable.
But yeah, I watch Netflix. My show's on Netflix. My show's on, I think the future is things like HBO Go.
Yeah.
That's the near future.
And on that note, thank you, Corey, for joining us in the Producer's Kitchen as we explore this conversation more. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Come see us again. Thanks for watching. Brought to you by KCW Technica.